Hi, it's Cindy Fodor here, and it is Make It Monday. I'm really excited to be back with you after last week's fiasco with my computer, and I'm happy to have it here and up and running and knocking my counter everywhere. You might see that everything looks different in my background because I was not remodeling, but I took the mattress away and added some shelves, and yeah, so my work surface is a little bit different. I had some flooring, and so just getting used to things. So if I look like I'm lost, that might be why. But I'm really enjoying the lots more space to put things, especially stuff for upcoming events and things like that. So I have some fun stuff to show you tonight. Let me just make sure that we are streaming. Should have checked that right away just to make sure, but just give me a second, and that way I can say hi to you. So hop on and Make It Monday. And there we go. Okay. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Karen. Thanks for joining me, and whoever else might be on that I can't see right now. So leave a comment. Leave lots of comments. That helps me a lot. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you. It helps me to know I'm not talking to myself. All right, so, hi Carol. All right, so I am going to first do an announcement because I get to do a drawing tonight. We have, let's see, less than 23,000, so a little over 22,000 to go towards the million. I just want to say hey to Jennifer and Sylvia. Good to have you guys. That's wonderful. All right, so we are down to, we're able to open number 23. And if you're new, we are on the countdown to my million in sales for my career. And that's how many boxes we have left to go. Each box represents $1,000 in sales. So we are just a little over 22,000 to go. So that's really exciting for me anyways. And thanks to all of you guys. So, hey, Colleen. The item tonight is the snowflake sequins. And that is these lovely little things. Now, I realize we're still in possibly snow weather. Of course, depending on where you live, you might have snow right now. Right now, we just have rain and a ton of wind, which is a little disconcerting. But I'm going to post who wins this, so anybody that placed an order in the past 2 weeks will get entered into this drawing. So I will post that in the video description a little later when I get a chance to do that. Okay, so hey Linda, hey Sylvia. All right, let's see. I feel like I have a ton to tell you because I haven't talked to you in so long. Let me just mention, if you haven't read any of my posts here on Facebook or in my email, I tried to let you know about everything that's happening, and there's a lot. Celebration is over, but wow, they really made March a special month for us. So I think I'm going to flip over to my other camera so that I can show you a couple of flyers. And let me grab them here. Oops, as I knock everything around. Okay, so let me just flip over to the other camera. So right now we have a sale. It's called Savings Are in Bloom. And the little Big Shot, or the Baby Boss, as I call it, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which we're going to use tonight, so you'll get to see it in action, is 20% off. So it's only $48 instead of $60. So if you don't have a good die cutting machine, or you would like one to sit by your table as you're working like I do, it is a great time to get that. Plus, there are like 18 or 20, I think, stamp and die bundles that are on sale. And I'm missing the other half of this sheet. I think it's out in my stamp room, or I could show you what they are. But I think if you got my email, I think I linked you to the page with all of those. So it's also a good deal. They are 20% off. And there's 3 of them, I think, that are not bundled in the catalog, but they bundled them for this promotion. And then, of course, you get 20% off the bundled price. So, really cool. All right, so you'll want to check that out. The other thing is they've added a new kit, and it has robots in it. It's really cute kid set. That flyer doesn't show that. And then what I want to show you tonight are some, if you're on my team, you probably saw the card that I did on Wednesday on our What's Up Wednesday. And I wanted to show some more with this just because there's so much to show you. Now, this stamp set and the dies will come out in the new catalog. But this is our, they usually bring out a bundle of products prior to the new catalog. And what they did was they added some gorgeous paper, which if you've subscribed to this page, you will have seen possibly the video that I posted. I have to make sure that I didn't post that to my regular page. So if you're a friend, I'll check and make sure it's on here. If not, I'll post it. But they showed a video of how they made this paper, and they actually did pouring of paint and mixing, and it is gorgeous. I'm going to be using some of it tonight, so I'll show you some of how beautiful that is. And then we have this beautiful foil in blues and silvers, just stunning. I'm going to use some of those tonight. And then the Rhinestone Waves Basic Gems that are just totally gorgeous. You get, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors, I believe. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 colors, maybe 4. It looks like there's a lot of these dark ones. You can see I've used a ton of them already. But these 3 things are only available while supplies last. They will not go into the catalog, and I'm telling you, they're really popular. So if you want this, I would suggest you hurry. Okay, now I do want to mention that the host code that's on the screen right now, right at the top, I can't do this, right here, right there, that code is the code that you'll want to use when you place an order before the 15th of the month. Now, I decided to do something a little bit different so that you can get my class projects, which next Monday night you will get to see those on the live, and I will demonstrate those. If you are unable to come to class, then you will get those when you place an order of $40 or more. Okay, so let's get started. So this is the stamp set and the dies. There's a bunch of dies. I have some laying out here that I'm going to be using. But I'm going to show you a really cool way to do this. And then I just love this stamp right here. I'll be using that a ton. And let's see. Okay, so I'll show you first the project that I want to do. Hi, Barbara. Sorry, I didn't get to say hi to you. And I think I said hi to Linda. So this is the card that I want to do tonight. I was inspired by another card that I don't think was a Z-fold, but I thought, that would be a fun Z-fold, double Z-fold card. So as you can see here, I made a little piece in here, and I played with it till I got it to the size that I wanted. I made a new size for my one that I'm going to show you tonight, and it's going to come over here a little bit further. So the measurements will be for the one that I'm making and not the sample. All right, isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so let's start with the card base. And I posted, if you saw my thing saying that you should come tonight, take your piece of cardstock if you're working with me, and you probably have your trimmer because I said to bring your trimmer. So I'm going to just grab this. You're going to put your trimmer or your paper in with the 8.5 along the top, and you're going to put this at 4 1/4 and cut it. So 4 1/4 by 11 is our card. And then this piece, and you can just use the same color, just cut a 1/2 inch off. So put it over here to the 1/2 inch mark, which you don't see a number on, but if you look, here's the cutting line. Let me bring this down just a little bit so it's not in the thing. So here's the cutting line, and here's the 1 inch line. So halfway between there is the 1/2 inch mark. So that line right there. And then you can cut a 1/2 inch by 11 inch. Okay. Now I'm going to use, you can use your trimmer for this. I'm going to use my scoring pal, Simply Scored, just because I already have my markers in here and I don't want to mess up. Now we're going to do the card base first, and don't mind my markers, those are for this piece. I am doing them both differently, which usually a double Z fold has the same fold, but because of the wave on here, I'm doing it differently. So your marks that you want to emboss this or score this on are 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. Okay, and that's just going to fold in half this way and then fold back this way. Okay, let me grab my embossing floor. Okay, so that piece is done. I'm going to put this piece up here next, and this one is going to be 4 3/4 and 7 1/2. And again, that's going to fold down and out so that I create the same Z look. Okay, longer side is going to be on the front and the shorter side will be on the inside, just so that you don't get confused with that. So 4 3/4 and 7 1/2 are those measurements. Hopefully that will come out right. Okay, let's take, I laid that piece of white paper. Not sure why I got a piece of white paper actually. Okay. Oh, because I want to show you how to stamp a card. Okay, I'll do that later. Okay, let's grab this. I'm going to grab my shiny paper. This is the blue, this is the lighter blue in the set of foil. And I'm going to cut out this wave with our mini cut and emboss. Now, this set is not on the sale list, okay? I just want to make sure you understand that. But I already had it set in my head that I wanted to show this tonight. So what I want to do is I want to put this adhesive, these adhesive sheets behind here to make it easier to stick. And I'm not positive. I know they were unavailable for a little bit, but I don't think they're on the unavailable list right now, hopefully. So I cut a piece the same width as my paper, which is 2 1/2 inches. And I'm going to just peel this off. And I'm going to lay this on the side that's not peeled off here. I want it to line up fairly good so I don't have sticky stuff everywhere and it's moving on me. Okay, and then I will go ahead and peel this side off as well. I'm going to press that down really good. And now it's ready to go through the embossing machine. So let's grab Baby Boss. And we're going to do a couple of things here. And I just knocked these all over the place. So, and they went underneath my surface here. So give me just a second. I need to have my husband build this edge, and I cannot believe it did that. Ugh. Oh, that thing's heavy. Okay, whew. All right, and then we have 2 plates of number 2. I'm going to put one down. Now, I want to tell you something about this machine, just to make your life easy if you already have it or if you want to get it. Sometimes when you put these, when you line these up perfectly, it's tough to get this started. You can see here the trouble. I'm not pushing very hard, but so save yourself some time and don't line them up, okay? I should say save yourself some energy. So I'm going to just push this one forward a little bit to have a, as long as you don't need the surface, and I don't think that we do. And of course, I want to make sure when I cut this that I'm completely on the cutting thing here, okay? I definitely have to have all the pads together where this is going to cut, or it won't give enough pressure. So then when I put this one on, I'm actually going to tuck it in there, and I'm going to let it come back here behind so that I don't have a ton of pressure on that front going in. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Now you're going to hear some cracking because I have a new plate, so hang on. But it's definitely caught in there now. I'm just ready to turn it. Okay. Now I want to just make sure that it went through good. That looks pretty good. I don't care if it didn't go the whole way through the adhesive paper on the back. So there's a few spots that didn't go through, but that's fine. I'm going to just lay this aside for a second and go ahead and do the rest of our cutting. So I went ahead and stamped our post here. And I laid those dies over here. Here we go. I need one of these, and I need to do this little guy with the heron, or the egret, I'm sorry. Egret? Heron? I forget now. I knew what it was. It's a heron, I think. I think it's a blue heron. Okay, so I want to line that up good. I'm going to just put a piece of Post-it tape on there. And I'm putting it up here because there's not a lot of surface for it to stick to and get stuck on there. So, and then again, you can see I'm not lining these up completely. I'm lining them up side by side, of course, but front and back, I'm not lining them up completely. Got a little squeaking going on. Pelican, thank you. I knew I wasn't saying something right. When I did my first video, I was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I said it's a pelican, but tonight my brain is gone. All right, so we got our little greeting tag, and I think I'm finished with that. So we got our greeting tag, and we have our pelican. All right, that's not too bad. Let me just pop this out of here. Okay, so I do want to do a little bit to this pelican. Let me just zoom you guys in a little bit. Okay, hopefully that's good. All right, so I'm going to take my water painter, and it's not very wet at all. I haven't squeezed it. I've used it a couple times tonight, and it's just wet enough on its own. And I'm just going to go over, I apologize to you guys that are on my team that saw this already, but I think you'll be impressed with how just doing this little bit changes the stamp so much. Like I said, it's barely wet. It's just enough to just make that color run a little bit and fill in the posts here. And then I'm just going to go in between here. I probably could just go over those cords, but I don't want them to meld into the... And then I just did his little feet here and his or her beak a little bit. Okay, so that's it, and that just is enough to add a little color. Let me see if I bring this up here, if you can see that. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start putting things together. First of all, for my wave here, behind this shiny paper, the foil paper, I have some of the designer paper, and this is just how gorgeous this paper is. This is probably my favorite piece. I'm just in love with the granny apple green, and the gorgeous blues in here is just stunning. So anyways, I'm going to be sticking this on to this paper, and I just have to decide which one. Now, for the background of the card I'm going to make tonight, I actually flipped this over and used this side. Where do I have those? Here. So a couple of pieces that you're going to need. Let me go ahead and mention. I'm using Just Jade for my other color. And I have this cut at, I'm going to have to look at it to tell you, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Because I'm going to be putting this inside here. And I just want to see the granny apple green. And that's the color of the green. Okay. All right. So then my other piece for the front here is 2 and the same measurement for the 4 and 1/8, 4 and 1/8 this tall by 2 and I have to just look here, 2 5/8. So I just went down 1/8 from the actual size, which was 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, so I went down 1/8, which makes this a 16th on each side. Okay. So let's go ahead and stick those on so that they're out of the way, since we talked about those already. Get down here. Since I zoomed in, I have to move where I'm got my hands so that you can see. And then this one is going to go on the inside. Okay. All right. Next, we have some of the designer paper. Like I said, I used the other side for the front. I'm not sure. I might go ahead and use the same side for here because I really like that. I want some of that blue in there. Now, this piece is cut a little bit. These are not the same size because I want this one to layer inside of the Just Jade. Hi, Debbie. Welcome. But this one, I want it to look like it's going under the card. I don't want to see that Just Jade there. So I made it just a little bit wider. Okay. Keep getting up there too far. A little bit wider. So let me just measure these to give you the exact measurement. I have a ruler right here. So the right one is 2 3/4 by 4. 2 3/4 by 4, if you want to write that down. And then this, the left one is 2 1/2 by 4. Okay. So again, just 1/8 of an inch down from the previous size. Let's go ahead and stick that on. See, this is another area on that paper. And it's a little too much of the darker blue. That's why I'm flipping it over, because I don't want, I'm going to keep the green towards the bottom. I don't want that darker blue to overpower everything. But here it's just got a touch of it, so that's good. So that is one thing with this paper. It's not the same all around, so you sometimes can't copy something the same 20 times. But it certainly makes it more fun. Okay, so do you see how that goes? I don't see that under there. I just see this top part. Okay. All right, now we're ready to go ahead and put this on, and I'm going to put that on this piece right here. So let me just get rid of the die. And it's a little bit tricky when you have adhesive on this, because there's some very fine pieces in this die. And there are 2 dies. Oops, I'm peeling the back off already. There are 2 dies, 2 wave dies. And when I show you the other samples in a minute, I will show you why and how to use those 2 together. All right, because this didn't cut the whole way through, I'm having trouble getting, I'm just going to tear this backing here because I would really like to get this out of here. And I don't care if the backing tears. 2 more seconds, I got it. Okay, there we go. And now I'd be able to get one more full wave out of here. If I go like this, I can get one more full wave. And then I have lots of pieces for whatever else I want to use that for. Okay, now a couple more little tiny pieces in here that I want to take out. So we can just weed that out, and I can just pull those right off of the backing and get rid of those. Little piece here, get a hold of it, and then two more pieces right here. All right, so now we've still got the adhesive on, most of it, and I'm going to go ahead and peel that off. And I believe, oh, it did come the way off, good. I don't think this piece came off yet. Let's get that off. I'm going to go ahead and just stick this down what I have here so that I don't start sticking it to each other. Okay, now I can just keep peeling that off. And just press it in place. Isn't that gorgeous? I think that's so stunning. Okay. Now I'm going to, I'm just going to trim around this, and you can certainly choose how much you want to trim off. I played with this design for a while. I had made my Z-fold an inch wide instead of this ½ inch. Well, this isn't that wide, so then it was showing, and so yeah, it was a little tricky figuring out. And then I also wasn't sure if I want to cut this whole thing out, which I did here, and I'm not sure I like that green showing through there. So it's tricky. This is so pretty, I almost want to keep all of it. So I'm just going to go right up around here. There is not a die to cut this part out, because most of this you would be putting on top of a stamp instead of the paper, but this paper was just so much fun I had to use it. And I'll be showing you on the other samples how you have a stamp that actually stamps that background for you. Okay, so there's our piece. I think it's totally gorgeous, and that's going to go on here, and I think I like that. Now it's probably going to be too long, so because my original one was a cut-in error, so it missed the back part of the wave, which I think is okay. So I may choose just to cut that off once I figure out where it's going to go in here. So let's see. Let's go ahead and get this in place. Now I'm going to put that on here, and I'm going to just see where I need adhesive. I want to make sure my adhesive comes the whole way over here. So I'm going to just mark that, and I'm going to put my adhesive down to there. But then this piece is going to go inside. Okay, so both of these pieces are going to get glue, and this piece can stick down completely. I'm dealing with a puppy hair. My daughter brought somebody's puppy home to keep the other night, and we enjoyed her, but I'm not having fun with her hair right now. Okay, so this is going to go clear to the edge here. I'm going to run it right along the edge of the other piece of Just Jade down here. This is going to fold, fold, and then this one is just going to, if it's scored right, it will fold flat, and this should come completely out to this edge. I'm just being careful because I want to make sure it's nice and straight. And did I get that straight? Okay, so there's our little double Z fold. Now you can see what it looks like in here. Okay, so it's going to lay flat or lay flat both ways, and then this is going to fit on here. And because my pelican on the pole is going to sit right here, I'm going to go ahead and just put my wave to there, and then I'm going to trim this side off over here once I have it glued down. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue that. And we can go ahead and glue pretty much all of this as well. This is just going to go to the edge of that Z-fold. Actually, I hate to waste stuff that looks pretty. I might be weird and just do this the whole way over. Don't hate me. I could have changed my score lines and done that, but yeah, I just hate to waste that. It looks so pretty like that. So I'm going to leave the whole thing there. And then Mr. Pelican is going to just get glued down here. I have to keep him in far enough because his body comes back here a little bit. So, all right, so a couple more things to finish our card. We need this saying, so we need to stamp that. Let me just grab. I'm going to use Early Espresso and the happy birthday saying that comes in the kit. And I checked my stamp, and my happy birthday is right in the center, but my sticker is not on there real straight. So I'm going to try to center the stamp and not worry about the sticker part. There we go. Now, as I did with my team, I don't like these ones that have this edge without using a ribbon or something through it. And so that's why I took this and added this little tail of paper here. So I'm just going to tuck this through. This is 1/4 of an inch wide, and it fits through here fairly nicely. It's a little tight. And I didn't bring my tag punch in here. So I'm going to do this by hand, I hope. Just going to, let me snip it here a little bit. Cut down the center and then cut down the two sides. Cut the size you want, cut down the center, cut down the two sides. Didn't get to the center. There we go. Okay, so that gives it a little more life. Yeah, I just don't like that by itself. And for this, I'm going to pop some baby dimensionals on here. Let me see if I can find some. Actually, I want some regular ones because I'll show you why. I want to make sure I don't have this green piece glued on here. So I want to make sure I go outside of where the green piece is. So I'm going to use these, and I'm going to put the points to the side so that they grab all the paper there and not just the green piece. Let me get that peeled off of there. And then we can stick this on our card. Hopefully I have that last one over here far enough that it doesn't stick out underneath. Nope, that's perfect. But I don't have it perfectly straight. Okay, one last thing I want to add is one of the clouds. Now there's 2 clouds in the die cut set. This is the tiny one. You'll see the other ones on my other card. And I wanted to show you this little piece that when I demoed it, I thought that it was like spray from the water coming up on the wave. And then somebody informed me that it is actually for the clouds. I'm going to just show you real quick how that goes on. Let me just grab my glue here. I'm going to just hold it with my take your pick tool. Well, that ink's coming out, or that glue's coming out a little too much. It always does in this room for some reason. I think because it's cold in here, and then when my lights come on, it warms it up. And then I can just set that right there on the cloud where I want it. And voila. So now we have our little cloud. Let's see, can I fit a big dimensional? I'm going to put a big one and a little one so that it has nice form and doesn't get squished. And then we'll just pop that right there. So now we have our whole scene created. and a fun double Z fold. Okay. All right. Are you guys ready to see the rest of the cards? Let me just scoot this out of the way here. So there's one other thing that I want to show you. Let me grab the card here. I want to show you this card. Now this is way more simple, but check out the different colors in this wave. Okay, can you see that? So I'm going to show you how to do that with the stamp. And this is the stamp. I'm going to use it on my Stamparatus so that it always goes the same direction. And I have my white piece of paper here, and I have it set up so that if I put this on the 1-inch mark, it will stamp in the right place. Okay, and then I'm going to start. A couple things you need. I'm going to use 3 colors. I'm using Balmy Blue, Bermuda Bay, and Pacific Point. For the Balmy Blue, I need to zoom this back out so that you can see everything. Stick this under here. I'm going to go ahead and ink everything with Balmy Blue. There's a couple fun things you can do with this, but I really do love this part. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. Whoops, slippery. Okay, so there's my beautiful waves, but I'm going to get some more color on there by using Bermuda Bay and a sponge dauber. Scoot this over. So I'm going to just ink certain areas of the stamp. I didn't clean it because I'm going light to dark, so we use the light color first. And I think I'm going to go a little darker than I did on my sample. All right, so we'll go ahead and stamp that. Okay, I think it can use a little bit more, so let me go ahead and add a little bit more to that. I definitely want to see different colors. You know, I don't want it to look like I, just inked the stamp darker or something. Now you can see that it's definitely showing up. Okay, the next one's going to be, oh good, Linda. I hope you'll love it. Let's see, where do I want to put this one? I'm going to add some down here. Can you guys see? The darker colors should probably be underneath, but I did start putting them on the top, so I'm going to just bring that along the bottom here. But I think I'm going to go ahead and add some up here because I definitely want some more definition up here. Let's see how that looks. You feel like an artist when you're doing this. It's really fun. Okay, definitely need some more of that too. I only inked it once when I did the sample, but I think I only did each color once, but that's okay. Whatever it takes, right? Okay, let's see if that does the trick. Yeah, isn't that gorgeous? Now, the only thing that I could have possibly added to this was I could have brought a sponge brush in and just brushed all this white in to, and I think what we could do, I'm going to take this off and just put that aside. And actually, I probably can just get rid of this. I don't have a light color brush. But if I clean this Bermuda Bay off a little bit, let me find my scrap paper here. I'm just wiping it off and turning it on paper to try to get most of that color. I'm going to just come in with this. I don't want to ruin this, but I'm just going to dab a little bit of Balmy Blue in here just to fill in that white a little bit. And then we can compare it to the other one and you can Tell me which one you like better. Again, I'm not tapping very hard or rubbing because I don't want whatever's left of that Bermuda Bay to come out here too much. It's definitely a little darker than just the balmy blue would be, but okay. So that fills in that white a little bit and makes it look, I think, a little more realistic. So let's finish the card and then we'll compare the two. Actually, we're not going to completely finish the card, but I do want to stamp. I love this saying, your strength is an inspiration. That is a table hockey paddle. Thanks for asking, Naomi. So Miss Karen, who I think is on here, right? I said hi to, yeah, Karen. She gave me that. Is that not the coolest thing? I'm telling you, it works amazing. I love it. It now stays with my Stamparatus. And I just got an edge. I obviously, as soon as I get an edge, I know I need to clean. You can see how the ink's laying there. That means I need to trim that rubber a little bit, but let me see if I can get this off with my handy dandy little sandy eraser. It will usually take a layer of paper off, and it sometimes is noticeable, but I think that smudge is more noticeable. So I don't want to take too much off, but all right, that looks a little bit better. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is this stamp. This is the coolest. We have a one bird, okay? So now I can put as many birds on here as I want. In fact, I'm gonna, it's probably not going to stamp really well over top of that surface, but maybe it'll cover up the remnants of what I did there. And add a couple of birds there. And then I have to add some of these fun gems. They're just so pretty. And grab my tool here. Let's add one of these big blue ones. Whoops. I didn't take that one with me, did I? And then we'll do one of these. And one of these. Might as well use all the colors. Okay, so there we go. Now, I don't have the backing for this card, but just putting these side by side here so that you can see. So here was with the white in here, which it really is pretty, and it's a simple card, really quick and easy, much quicker than the first card that we did, right? But then this one, I just filled in the white area a little bit. So yeah, which one do you like best? You can let me know in the comments. That would be awesome. All right, so don't leave me yet, guys. I have a couple more cards to show you. I've been playing all evening, afternoon and evening with this set, so I have a couple more things to show you while you tell me which you like, filled in or not filled in. I think you can see that enough. The other colors I used here for the backing then are just the same colors I used in the ink. So I have Bermuda Bay, and then my base is Pacific Point. Okay. All right. Now, this is the one that I did on Wednesday with my team. And I stamped behind here just in the Pacific Point. And then I sponged it with our blending brush in Coastal Cabana, I believe. And I did it dark in here and then light up through here. So there's some Coastal Cabana throughout here. Okay, and then this is where I said this is the larger tag, and I wish I had put something in there. It needs a ribbon. It's great to put a ribbon through. And I haven't done that yet, so I will try to do one like that. But here I did a sun. I just die cut a circle out, and I laid that die cut here and just sponge brushed over the circle area. And then I took that away and then just sponged down here with what was left so that there's a little bit of sun, a little bit of yellow coming down through here. Here's that larger cloud I told you about. And then check this out. There's a die that cuts these two birds out. So all of this leftover paper that you have in here works great to cut out the birds. Okay. So there's that one. And then I wanted to just highlight the paper. The paper is so beautiful. And so I put that on the background. And then I added a piece of vellum just to quiet it a little bit. And this is our vellum that's in the mini catalog that has, this has a map printed on it. And I put that together really badly. I have it crooked, but I'll fix it later. And then I just stamped the waves in Pool Party. I wanted it just to be really quiet behind the saying. Okay. And last but not least, I copied this idea from Mary Detheridge. And it was a little tricky. It's free-handed. So I stamped this and I colored it with my blending or my water brush, just like I did on the first card that I showed you. All right, guys, so I see filled in and not filled in. It looks like not filled in is winning. Is that what you guys all want to say? Okay. All right. That's good to know. Okay. So anyways, what I did was I just took a clear ruler and I was going to use my early espresso marker with the writing tip, but my markers are pretty old and the writing tip for some reason just is not very good on that anymore. So I actually used some of our old Memories and More markers. So I used a larger one and a narrow one. And then I just added some freehand little spots on it once I had the lines filled in. Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight Mr. Pelican, now that I can say it right, because I just love that stamp. I told you that's like one of my favorite stamps. So, okay. So that is it, guys. And I appreciate you joining me tonight. So next Monday, come back at 8 o'clock. You will get to see all the projects for the month. Some of you I will see here tomorrow, and we will be stamping 3 gorgeous cards. And you'll be excited if you don't get to come to class. Either tomorrow morning, tomorrow night at my house, Wednesday evening in Mount Airy, or next Monday in Chambersburg. Then you can get the cards that I will show you on Monday for free, as long as your order is $50 and you use the code that is right there. Is that showing? Yeah, right there is the host code you have to use in order to get those projects in the mail. Okay, so thanks so much for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it, and here's till next week. Bye-bye.